Hey everybody, Douglas Scott McCarron. I want to talk about family disconnection and Scientology because I have probably a very different take than a lot of people do. I I hear a lot about Scientology. So apparently, from what I watch on the internet, if you do enough things against Scientology, you get called what's declared a suppressive person, and you get removed from Scientology. But not only that, all the people you know are now supposed to disconnect from you. So it's not just that you get thrown out of Scientology, it's that your parents, your friends, everybody stops talking to you. You know, theoretically, the idea is you become tainted and they want to remove the possibility of having the believers tainted by your being tainted removed. Other people, like, there's a lot of anti-Scientology people who say the real reason is they use it as mind control to keep you from leaving and to keep giving them money. I don't know. Never been a Scientologist. I have been around it a lot because for some reason it keeps showing up on my feed on YouTube. I've only had one interaction with Scientology, and it was a class on the problems of work, I believe it was called, where I worked at this business and the boss wanted us to look at it, or go through the course, so we did. And at the end, I filled out this information card, which I felt leery of doing because I've always been told, once Scientology gets their hooks in you, they mail you postcards every day and call you and come after you and everything. I got a phone call from them, and they said, "How are you doing?" And I said, "I'm doing pretty well." And I had a couple minutes conversation and hung up, and I've never heard from them again. It's been 3 years. So I have a long history of feeling like I'm unwanted, so having Scientology not want to contact me really fit into the nobody wants me thing. I'm getting over it though. If you're having therapy or you're meditating, keep at it. It works. But the thing that's interesting for me, listening to this thing about disconnection, is in my family, I felt unloved, unwanted, and everything. And I realized later on in life that I actually disconnected from them. I felt they'd rejected me. But it was more, they didn't love me the way I wanted to, so I cut myself off from them. And I still kind of suffer from that. But, I'm reaching out with these videos too, and I go around talking to people, and I'm friendly now. But it's interesting to me that, for me, it was a big thing to let go of my family because I felt criticized all the time. And yet, I had to, get away from that because it was just constant criticism. It may also be that they criticized me 4 or 5 times, and I so internalized it that I just personally kept the criticism going. It's one of those spots where you're so sure of something you don't really know exactly what's going on out there. But, what I can see is my inner thoughts, and that I do that a lot. Getting over it, but when you're blind to something in yourself, it's hard to see it and handle it. But for me, I hear these stories about Scientology disconnecting, and my instant response was, "Oh, I did that, and it was good." So sometimes when I listen to the people who are criticizing Scientology, I don't entirely, having not really had a big, strong family connection, I don't understand it a lot. And it's interesting to me that I actually have ended up pretty happy and peaceful and still manage to carry on conversations with people, still want to communicate. Granted, it took a few decades of therapy and meditation and stuff to get here, but I wasn't disconnected by my family, I disconnected them. Interesting thing. It was also, to preserve my inner certainty about what my beliefs were that I'm now having to let go of. Couldn't have those tainted. I didn't want to be wrong. It's interesting. But, I partially understand a lot of what they're talking about. The reactive mind, somebody says something, you have an emotional response, you react, you blah, 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 let go. They didn't come up with that. That's, what is it? The Yoga Sutras talking 10,000 years ago about the mind doing this. So it's not like L. Ron Hubbard came up with it, but it's a modern version. I just do find it kind of not amusing, interesting that I'm sitting here finally getting reconnected with the world and finding out disconnecting from everybody was not a good idea. And I don't really think it is a good idea. I don't agree with what Scientology is doing, but it's something I have in common with them. Except, it's hard to tell. All the anti-people talk about how horrible everybody is and they're mean and they argue with everybody. And then you see the pro videos and like, oh no, we're all just friends. We talk. And David Miscavige, the leader, is just this fun, outgoing guy and he's wonderful. And, the antis are he's a tyrant and he's horrible and bad. I don't know. Never been there. A lot of video time on YouTube about it though. Don't know why it started showing up on my feed, but it does. I don't know, maybe I've been told by people who have reviewed my videos that I'm kind of a blatherer, not really saying anything important, but I think the idea of being so ensconced in my inner world view that I disconnected from my family to protect myself, it made sense, but at the same time, who knows if it was actually true. And they had their trauma too. So, oh yeah, and I had my A Bit Twisted stuff here at the merch store if you are interested. I felt a bit twisted most of my life and probably still am. Okay. Disconnection and Scientology, and I guess actually, when you go into the army, you get disconnected from your family for a while. It's all bad and yet very common. All right. That's it. Thank you. Have a good day.